What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. As many of you may know, Genfinity's Hedera Corner, we are trying to streamline in collaboration with HashPack as many community project interviews as we possibly can. And awesome to say that we have Lucky Token today. Lucky Token building out pretty much the house of gaming and gambling on the Hedera network, utilizing the Hedera token service. So how are you doing today, Lucky?
Hi, glad to be here. I'm fine. How are you?
Great. So these interviews we're trying to streamline and make them as straight to the point as possible. So the first question that I would always ask is to describe Lucky Token, describe the ecosystem that you're building out.
All right. So Lucky Token is a token with not that large of a supply, and what we as the Lucky Token team do, we are a software focused group, and we are building use cases and utility for our token and exploring different ways we can make those things on the Hedera.
Yeah, great. As far as why Hedera, why did you guys choose to launch your ecosystem on the Hedera network?
Well, we all were a part of the community before launching the project, and we all came to the ecosystem for different reasons. But for me personally, I think that technology is something that's never existed before, and there's great opportunity to build something that hasn't really existed in this form before. So that's the most interesting aspect for me. And then everything else is so great with the Hedera base layer. It's fast and simple to use, and I mean I can explain it to people easily and show them. It's the most user friendly network, I think, in my opinion, and it's a really great network to build on.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the ecosystem and the community is fantastic. I certainly have to agree with you there. You guys are leveraging HTS very definitively, like the token service aspect. So have you seen anybody else on Hedera kind of launching the house of gaming aspects that you guys are facilitating right now? Or are you guys kind of the outlier there? Because I haven't seen anybody else doing it as of yet.
Yeah, we haven't really seen anything that has their own in-house token that they are building, like use around their own token. Many use HBAR and have smart contracts and like simple games, coin flips and stuff with that. But when we have our own token and we are really trying to build some like unique ways of displaying what's possible on it, and we are completely like focused on what we are doing because it's really something that's not done on Hedera before, and there's no guides to do it, so we really need to learn as we go, figure some stuff out in our own game use cases and
Yeah,
such.
regarding the game that you have right now, because I know you have gamified aspects with Lucky Token so far. I think you guys have done it with there's a roulette game on the site, right? Um are there plans, in the near future to launch an additional game? I think that I was watching the HBAR Bulls interview that he did a few days ago. And he had mentioned that you guys were building out, or whoever he was interviewing mentioned that you guys were building out almost like, was it horse racing or something like that?
Yeah, so we have our own Discord server, Lucky Token Lounge. So it's where all the social aspect is happening. And we are making a Discord bot that integrates with HashPack through HashConnect. And we can have social games on our Discord. So we currently it's an open beta of our Lucky Studs. So it's a horse racing game where there's 7 different horses and you bet which one you think you will win. And then when the race is simulated, winners get like paid their rewards. It's pretty simple, but it's fun because when people place bets, there's a notification on the race channel, and it's fun. It's a new thing in a social way, and we are really building this bot to be able to scale upwards for everything to be ready for the possible upcoming bull market. So when our product is able to scale and possibly spread to other Discord servers and propagate that way, it can expand outside of like our established ecosystem. So I think that's great. And we are planning to make all games available on both on our Discord and our web server, but development takes time, and especially with a develop team of only 3 members, it can take time. But we are really trying to put out quality products no matter how long it takes. And I think for the project, we are like 3 months old now, started this summer, and we already have I think some strong product to show. I think we are really in a good position going forwards. And yes, we are absolutely adding more games, and we really do want to like make unique games. All traditional gambling, yes, because the rules are pretty established there, and it's only the matter of implementation, but also some unique ideas that are only possible through the use of the Hashgraph technology.
Yeah, and I mean, when you think about like Web 2 and the gaming aspects, or like, you know, gambling aspects, so like poker and all the things that people could participate in right now, there's a lot of thought process around a lot of those ecosystems being rigged, you know what I mean?
Yes.
As far as like, you know, back end aspects and software aspects are basically, you know, telling, you know, these companies that are operating these platforms, you know, it's rigging the game. So can you talk a little bit about what differentiates Lucky Token and the aspects that you guys use to make sure that for your users that choose to make their own decisions? Obviously, this isn't financial advice for Lucky Token or the ecosystem or anything, but that choose to go on and play these games, how you guys are keeping that system fair.
All right. So our fairness comes through the use of the Hedera consensus service. So it's a modifier that's outside of any user's direct influence. So when the network reaches consensus, when all the nodes agree that the transaction went through, that is something that is outside of everyone's control. So we are binding the results of our games. So for example, what number roulette shows up when the transaction goes through, and the algorithm can only then calculate the number. So nobody knows it beforehand. It can be only known when the transaction is reached consensus. So this can be used in many different ways. When you need a random number, no matter how big or small, we can adjust the algorithm we have. So currently the roulette uses from 0 to 99, but we can simulate a dice roll or a selection from a million. It doesn't really matter because it's all really random, and the number is different every time there. So instead of us having control, it's a combination of 2 things we really don't have the control over. It's the when user decides to submit the transaction, and when Hedera consensus service is reached and the transaction is finalized on the network. And I think those are really strong points when making something like this that requires extreme trust. We all in our team understand how like large of a trust issue there currently is on gambling, and solving that is one of those problems we are definitely in the process of making everything fair and transparent, so there can be no issue about the trust